cine film from the 1920s.
Yes, the film was shot by a brigadier and records his travels with the British Army as well as life at home in a Devon village. Spotlight's Andy Breer has been taking a look.
Okay, recording.
Okay, just for the tape, just tell me your name, please. And what
My
you
name's
do.
Paul Dibbins, and I'm a film restorer and archivist. This, which is Brigadier Ackland's complete films, nearly 2,000 feet, that he shot over 20 years. You can see they're all little rolls, all joined together. 16mm film for amateurs had only been invented maybe a year, 2 years before the Brigadier and his wife started working. They wouldn't have used an electrically powered, relatively modern camera. He'd have had to shoot it all using something like this, which would have been clockwork, and you'd have had to wind it up between shots, and it all had to be loaded, hopefully in somewhere dark or in a black bag. All the film had to actually physically be loaded inside the camera. Any dirt or dust in there and it's all ruined, any light get in, it's all ruined. It was a real art in its day. So for the Brigadier and his wife to master the art of 16mm film, and for them to shoot so much of their lives, and for it to so nearly get lost, really, I'm very proud to have saved it all, really.
Now you've got the film, you've cleaned it up, it looks fantastic. What are you going to do with it?
With all our films, our only intention is to get as many people to see the films as we possibly can. So I guess what would be a really nice thing to do would be a world premiere in Fennerton somewhere, perhaps in the autumn. That would be nice, and let everybody come and see the films, perhaps in their, more in their entirety.
Cine film from the 1920s.
Yes, the film was shot by a brigadier and records his travels with the British Army as well as life at home in a Devon village. Spotlight's Andy Breer has been taking a look.
The footage was taken by Brigadier Peter Ackland. He lived in Fennerton in Devon, and he made his short films in the 20s and 30s on his travels with the British Army and back home in Devon. Until recently, this cine film had been left abandoned on a local farm.
You knew it was special. He's in the Sudan. It shows behind the scenes of an officer's life in the Sudan. Fancy dress parades and donkey derbies and camel racing, polo, cricket. But we were lucky that not only did he film his military career, the family was active in village life.
One of the highlights for Paul is the Brigadier's footage of field gun practice on Dartmoor, shot in the early 30s. Footage which may have been lost forever.
So you really do get a sort of snapshot of people making an effort back in the 30s, 40s and 50s when they're on film. Because it was, everybody knew that it was a big thing to have a camera and take photographs.
As well as chronicling his army career home and abroad, the Brigadier was also keen on filming village life. Here the Fennerton cricket team are in action. Oh, up close, but not out.
Sir Anthony Ackland, who's on the film as a small boy, it's his father who took them. When we showed them to him after they were first restored, he said it was the first time he'd seen them in more than 60 years. And that if his father would be absolutely bowled over to think that anybody else would want to watch his home movies.
Paul's now hoping to put the films on show at an event in Fennerton later in the year so that everyone can enjoy some of the magic and charm of a bygone era. Andy Breer, BBC Spotlight, Buckfast Lee.
Playing polo on donkeys there, weren't they?
It's a valuable archive, that is, isn't it, of life in Devon.
Oh yes, it's time for the weather forecast now.